What's up, guys? It's Qbert. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if two of the most popular arcade game characters' games was in a battle to see whose game was better? Okay, let's show it out. First up is Frogger. Okay, there'll be a gameplay shown on the screen. Okay, first up in the top left corner, as you can see from the arrow, they are the number of lives you have. The objective of the game is to get from one side of the road to the other, across the pond, or river, I'm not exactly sure, into the little stumps. And if you see the little reds in between the stumps, if you touch that, it's got a skeleton on it, it's an automatic death. So you lose one life. The ways to lose your lives is by getting hit by a car, running into a car, falling off of the logs into the water, or hitting the red squares. Okay. They are more than just 3 stages, but there are only 3 stages shown in the demo. The more you cross the street and the more you get over there is the more score you get, is the more points you get for your score. The score is right up there in the top right. The less time you use, the more time bonus you get for a score. And like, after you lose all your lives and you die, game's over. It'll tell you your total score. Right here, after it says stage clear, as in right here, it'll tell you your time bonus. I got a time bonus of 78 in stage 2. You can jump on the crocodile's back, or alligators, I'm not exactly sure. But if their mouth's open and you jump on their mouth, they will eat you and it'll lose a life. As that crocodile's mouth's up there, open in the top. The game is actually pretty hard. The first 1 or 2 stages is pretty easy, but when you get to the 3rd stage, it starts getting a little bit harder. Okay. This was like one of the popular arcade games. Well, yeah, back in the day. It was on the Atari for sure. Okay. You can play as Frogger. I think that's the only character you can play as in the game. The objective in this game is pretty simple, I think. All you gotta do is cross the road, cross the pond without falling in the water or getting hit by a car. Okay. The rest of the gameplay is gonna be pretty simple. Okay, now you can watch the rest of the gameplay just to get a better understanding of it. Okay, next up is Qbert. Okay, let's get into it. We'll show another gameplay, just like we did on Frogger. Okay, the lives are in the top right-hand corner, as you saw from the little hand pointing up. Okay, the objective of this game is to get on all the blocks and change their color without getting hit by the little blobs, or occasionally snakes. The little blobs are moving blocks, as you can see, and the objective is to get away from them without them touching you. Okay, the little discs that are beside the blocks towards the bottom, they take you to the top. When you jump on them, they will move you to the top. That's what those are for. Okay. There are different levels of this. And this was an older game, an arcade game, too. And as you get up in higher levels, one level you'll be changing the blocks yellow, and the next you might be changing them back normal. But as you get in the higher levels, you'll be doing two rounds in one. You'll be changing them and unchanging them in the same one. Okay. As you can see on the screen, there are 3 red blobs and a snake. They all disintegrate when you get the level completed. Okay. The levels get harder and harder as you go up. As you can see, I'm not playing the original version though. But it is basically the original version. In this level, it's changing the colors from white to black. From where the last one was changing them from yellow to black. And the first one was changing them from black to yellow. Okay. They're different stuff because the little purple monster looking thing is on the side of the blocks. And it'll get you too. Yeah. And if you're stuck on one side over there by the little disc, you jump on it and it'll take you to the top and you'll get to go finish your blocks if you have any up there. It's basically a shortcut. The game it may look easy, but it gets harder and harder as you can go up here. Like one level you may go through within like 10 seconds. The next level will make you 10 minutes. Then it'll go. The harder and harder they get, the longer they'll take, just like any other game. But these levels gets pretty hard. As you can see, there's a new monster after you. Right here, there's a little green-looking blob. Kind of looks like the Grinch's face with sunglasses on, though. Unless, I don't remember if I mentioned this before, there's a little snake. As you can see, it just killed Qbert. When Qbert gets mad, he says something, and it blinks it out. You all know what that means. So, I'd say this is a pretty child-friendly game. You have 3 lives. Each time you get hit by a blob, a snake, or a green little blob, it'll kill you. Which, it'll take one of your lives away. Yes. As you can see in the gameplay, there's only been 1 life took away so far. That means there's still 2 lives to go before the game ends, and you have to start over. As you can see at the main top, there's no arrow for it, but as you can see at the main top, it's where your high score is, and your score. And just like I said at the beginning of this gameplay, it'll get harder and you'll have to do more than one thing in the same one. Because on this one, you got to change it to yellow, and then you got to go back over them and change them to green before the level's completely beat. Okay. I just demonstrated jumping on little circle things that'll take you back to the top. They're like little discs. You gotta change them from blue, which is the original color, to yellow to green. And it gets pretty hard because there's, as you can see, the snake is jumping everywhere, the little blobs jumping everywhere, the purple blob. All the blobs are just jumping at you and trying to get you all at one time. Okay. See, that's 2 lives took away. That means there's only 1 life left. I think this game is a pretty simple objective to understand, but it's hard to get it, like, once you get in the higher levels, like, past the easy levels, like, once you get into the double letters and stuff, just like that, the double numbers, I should say, it gets harder. The double digits, yeah, it gets harder then, and you'll lose your lives a lot faster. And once you get up there, it gets harder because you're having to jump and dodge the blobs faster. And you're also having to go to more blocks. Not more blocks, but you're having to... See, right here. Here's an example of what happens when the game's over. Because I just lost all 3 of the lives. Which means there's no more lives. Which means that ends the game. Okay. So here's what happens when the game's over. All that happens is it'll give you an option to revive, and it'll just say start over. But as you can see, the gameplay started over, but it's different. But you can watch this second gameplay to better understand. Okay, I'll let you listen to music while you do it. We'll find out the winner right after this.
The war will begin. The war will begin.
Like wildfire.
and it's time to find out who won. And the winner is Frogger. Yes, it's a Frogger. Some of you all may disagree. Some of you may think it's Qbert, but I think it's a Frogger. It's a simple, clean, good objective. You gotta cross the road, not get hit by cars, not fall in the pond, jump on the logs, jump on the back of turtles, get on the stump. Yes, so Frogger wins. Let me know any more characters. Peace out, homies.